Peace, everybody. This is Ziggy the Iron King. I'm back at you this week with another video. I wanted to talk about like what motivates me. I don't have too many followers right now, so I figured I would just, try to, come up with a topic and, pontificate on it or talk about it. What motivates me? I've been thinking a lot about it because, I've been like busy working, and today though it's been like a day where I've been resting up and chilling out, but still I feel like I could have gotten a lot more stuff done today than I actually have. I did a little bit of studying, but I should have did more. But we're getting close to like Black Friday, and I'll be studying a lot of marketing and stuff like that. A lot of these marketers and stuff like that. I'm in a couple of classes and courses that I've been taking, and it made me think like, okay, like really reflect on like why, like what motivates me, because there's some things that you do or just living life. Sometimes you have to just sit back and reflect on like where you want to go, and where you would like to go, and what actually is going to be that motivating factor, or what motivating factors, plural, that you have inside you to try to steer you to kind of like get to where you want to go. Like I've been busy working like on my regular job, and a lot of times I've been working between trying to get upwards to like 30 hours of overtime, while they have it available. But like, I work towards when I know there's like kind of like an end goal, it kind of motivates me like to keep going. I'm an herbalist. I consider myself an herbalist, but I'm still really learning about herbalism in a lot of aspects. Like I'm always going to be a student, no matter how much I learn. It's easy to become like a YouTube scholar and watch videos on YouTube all the time on a different subject. It's another thing to really dig deep and like read books. It's something that you're really into. And I'm the type of person, if I'm really into something, I'm really gonna like dive deep into it. When I started, and I talked about it on other videos, previous videos, that when I started my business, I had no idea how much of a factor and how time consuming the marketing aspect of running a business is. So I learned very quickly about that, and I go into detail, I ramble about that a lot in some of my previous videos. But it made me think, because I was on my Instagram the other day, and one of my teachers, one of the herbalists that I follow on Instagram, she had some classes coming up that I'm interested in, and it made me think. I'm like, wow, I've been so consumed with the marketing aspect of running my business, and that's something that something that you will always have to deal with. I feel, you know, as long as you're running your business, especially if you're doing it from an e-commerce aspect of running a business. I think that's something that is something that there's always gonna be something that you have to deal with as a businessman, or running a business. I think when I stumbled across it was a couple of little posts that I seen about classes about other herbal classes coming up, and I want to take them. And it's like before I started my business, I took a couple of herbal classes, and they were cool, and I learned a lot. I learned how to put herbs together, and I also learned how to research. I learned how to, what's the best books, what's the best types of books to get, and stuff like that. So, when I started my business, though, I had no clue how much of effect that marketing was going to be when it comes to running my business. I think that that took a lot away from my studies. I think and I know it did. It took a lot away time that I thought that I would have to put away to be able to actually study herbalism. You know what I mean? Because marketing is like a whole different beast. It's like a whole different entity of itself. Having to be able to create content daily, having to study, having to engage with your customer base, having to be able to trying to network and study, trying to be able to stay up to date with what's going on in the never-ending knowledge aspect of when it comes to herbalism. You know what I mean? So it's a lot to take in. But when I ask myself what motivates me as far as what I would like to do, there's a lot of things that motivate me. Me having me being born with cerebral palsy, one of the things that motivates me with this herbalism thing is to continue learning, because the good thing about herbalism, the good thing about holistic health and alternative medicine and all in things that entail is there's so many different branches and avenues of it. There's so many different routes. Even just like the herbalism aspect, it's so much knowledge, and there's so much different things to learn when it comes to herbalism. There's Ayurveda, there's traditional Chinese medicine, there's you got the indigenous Native American or medicine with the natives of America, which I believe that we are the natives of this land. I don't believe that a lot of us melanated people who came in on slave boats. I question a lot of that. But like I said, we can go into that in other videos in the future. But we definitely could go in that in other videos in the future. But I think that now, what that's one of the things that motivate me is like the never ending knowledge of it. Like I said before, like I want to travel the world. Like I want to travel the world, and not travel the world because I want to be like one of these guys that's like got all this money and traveling, and I've been this place, I've been that place. Like my brother, my younger brother, Don Draper, he was stationed in Italy, and he got to go to different countries in Europe, and he loves it out there. Like he loves it out there. I remember talking to him when he was out there, and like he would be like he was trying to get me to come out there at times. And like I was at a point in my life where I was trying to get a job, and you know what I mean, I got out of school and all that, and he was out there and he was living his best life. And he talked about it. I remember he was in Belgium, and he was telling me stuff. And like even in my mind, like I've always kind of interested in like different cultures or whatever. You know what I mean? Like so him being over there and him talking about, especially I was when he got out there, I think I was kind of like in like my early stages of like learning more about getting into more holistic health. And he talked about like the organic food out there and stuff like that. So, and even now, like, he's been out for a minute, and, he speaks highly of a lot of those European countries. Like, I want to go to those places. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to a lot of those places, especially the places that a lot of us melanated people don't think about going. I mean, we want to go to Africa. Yeah, I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to, I love the Caribbean. I've been to Jamaica twice, and I love it out there. I love it out there. I love the Caribbean, and especially with me having like knowledge of self, like it felt like you could feel like a whole different frequency. I mean, maybe part of it's a mental thing, but I think there is science behind that too. And my name is Ziggy the Iron King, and as you see, I got locks or whatever. So I've become like learned in like a little bit of like the Rasta culture. Like back in after I finished high school or whatever, I was learning about like I was very biblical, like growing up. Like when I say biblical, like I'm not saying like I was like this like super religious, like going to church, but like I was always like reading the Bible and stuff like that. So when like after I got out of school, I would like do a lot of reading of the Bible and stuff like that. And then I started learning about like the Hebrew Israelites. And when I started reading about like the Hebrew Israelites, I started to learn that a lot of the Hebrew Israelites was melanated people. So it made me when I would read the Bible, like I would see melanated people. I get in my head even now, like I would see melanated people when I read it. And even further now, I've started to have a little bit more of an awakening, like with a lot of these, watching a lot of these conscious teachers and stuff like that, people like Umar Johnson and people like that, and then getting into veganism and things like that, because I wanted to reverse my cerebral palsy. And I started to really gravitate a lot to the roster culture, and like, they're into like a lot of the indigenous ways, and at the same time, like I love to learn about like the indigenous cultures of people in the Americas, not just the North America, but like South and Central America and the Caribbean and places like that, the Pacific Islands and places like that. But like, one of the things that I wanted to do, one of the things that motivates me is I want to be able to travel. Like I want to go to different parts of the Caribbean. I want to go to Costa Rica. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to like this shirt I got. It's actually an English shirt, but it's called it has something to do with Japan in it. But yeah, I wanna go to different countries. I wanna study herbs from all over. I don't want to just be a Saviite. You know what I mean? I want to do, even locally, like I want to learn the forage and all that stuff. But one of the things that motivates me is that I want to travel. And some of the other things that motivate me is just like I was saying before. One of the other things that motivate me is I want to be able to make this my living. I want to be able to make herbalism my living. My dad told me, he said, don't do it for money. And I've never been that type of person. I'm not a materialistic person, especially now. It's like, I never, like growing up, I wanted Jordans and all that other stuff. And, I wasn't really able to really get that stuff until I started really working or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Have my own job and all that. And, like, a lot of that stuff really don't matter. Like, I don't, especially now, I just don't feel like if your motivation is to be able to flex on somebody by having a nice car just to impress somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's lame. You know what I mean? There's people that are into like luxury cars and sports cars that have been into it, since they was kids. You know what I mean? And I think that's cool. But like, to really like, try to be motivated, like to have like, some nice big luxury car just so you can impress people that you don't even know, like Will Smith said. I feel like that's why. You know what I'm saying? But that's why in the future you'll probably see me more with like, locally grassroots type of t-shirts and stuff like that, shirts or whatever, apparel or whatever. But I've been rambling all over the place. But yeah, that's one of the things that motivate me just being able to learn, and continuing to travel the world, learning about herbalism and different aspects of holistic healing in different parts of the world. So, I want to network with so many people, but I have to constantly kind of like I reflect on what motivates me, because not that I want to sit back and like question, okay, why am I doing this? Because this is my passion. My passion is herbalism. My passion is to be able to help people. Like one of my clients last week, I gave her some of the frankincense resin that I've been talking about, and then I gave her some Cerebral that one of my coworkers gave me, and she been taking it. And she's like, my parents' age or whatever. And like, to me, that's very motivating to see people that's like really want to take, especially people at that age that want to really take their health into their own hands. It's kind of hard, to take, for people in like their mid 40s, 50s, 60s, especially if they're outside of that realm, to kind of be like, say like, man, tighten up their bootstraps and take their health in their own hands, because it's like they've been eating a certain way and thinking a certain way in a certain mind state for their whole lives, and it's like they want to get healthy, but like they don't want to give up that pork, they don't want to give up that seafood, they don't want to give up the way they've been eating all their lives, you know what I mean? And you have to sacrifice. Even me, you have to sacrifice, you know what I mean? Like, I've been eating a lot of chips, and I've been talking about me like going on this diet. I've been eating a lot of chips. I've been eating a lot of fruit, but I've been eating a lot of chips. It's like they gluten-free chips, but and chips are very addictive, and chips have a lot of starch, and I'm about to get rid of it soon. So, but I just wanted to talk about what motivated me, and I kind of rambled off, and I want to get better at like sticking to a certain topic, because even like with the motivation thing, I don't think I really hit the surface of some of the things that motivate me. So maybe I'll go back to it later. But I feel like a lot of what I'm doing now is like even like with my business, a lot of what I'm doing now is not an overnight thing. Like, a lot of things that I do, even business wise, is for weeks down the line, or months down the line, or even years down the line, to make things even easier. Because Lord knows it's a struggle right now. You know what I mean? Trying to get to where I want to create or grow my brand awareness to where it won't be that much of a difficult task to reach more customers. Like, even with this YouTube, me doing YouTube videos, it's like, I feel like I got to really study that. And I've been watching a lot of videos, different YouTubers. I've been watching like Vlad TV. I watch some of that anyway. Like Vlad TV. I've been watching one of my biggest influencers is Tupac. And like, I've been watching this one channel, I think it's Art of Dialogue, and he have a lot of people like talk about like Tupac and things like that, and people that knew him and stuff like that. People like artists that he worked with, or executives, people like that. And but just listening to or watching some of the YouTube content, and it's like study it from a creator standpoint, studying or watching them from a different lens, like not just from a perspective of being entertained, you know what I'm saying, but more so from a perspective of how they market themselves and their delivery and stuff like that. So even like with this YouTube thing, right now, on some videos I have like less than a handful of views, but it's something that I gotta really work on. If you want something, you gotta be consistent with it, and you know what I mean. Even if it's not falling on deaf ears yet, you know what I'm saying. I gotta keep knocking and knocking until my voice get heard. There's so much stuff that I want to do, and there's so many. Like, I'm influenced by this guy named on Instagram. It's CP Truths, I believe, and he has cerebral palsy like me, and he just does like simple reels with doing everyday stuff, like walking up the steps, or he'll say something about how about him being insecure because he has cerebral palsy, and how that affects him dating and all that stuff. And you know what I'm saying, I could relate to him, and it's very motivating how he's been able to get like millions, literally millions of views. And it's like, I feel like, not that I want to compete with him because I got my own lane, but it's motivating, and it's showing that, like, I have like my own story, and I have like my own story that unveiling to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want people to see like my growth, and I want people to. I wanted I want this to be a vehicle to motivate me to do what I need to do, because it's so easy to it's so easy to like just stay in like a certain pattern of doing things. And if you want to really do big things in life, you gotta get out of your comfort zone and break a lot of certain patterns that you're used to doing in order to get to where you want to go. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna do some more videos about what motivates me, because there's a lot of things that motivate me. And like, comment, and subscribe to Ziggy the Iron King on YouTube. Subscribe to Ziggy the Iron King on Instagram. Follow a Maximalistic Creations LLC on Instagram and Facebook. And, you know what I'm saying, stay tuned to the stuff I got coming up.